Coming up next, it's the Pro Wrestling Report Interactive. Your emails, our answers from all over the world, including Fan of the Week. But without further ado, let's take it now to our host, Linda Kay.
Hello and welcome to the Pro Wrestling Report Interactive. I'm your host, Linda Kay. This show is about you, your emails, tweets, and Facebook comments. So let's get to our very first email. Email number 1 comes from Nick Moneyelzer from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Nick says, since everybody is saying that Over the Limit is so bad, which I enjoyed because WWE put on a good show compared to what else was on TV that night, and the buys weren't going to be stellar. Do you think WWE should go back to brand-exclusive pay-per-views instead of the dual so they can use more talent and develop stories that us fans can care about? Let's get to our analysts, Damian Nelson and David Hero.
Well, thank you, Linda. Welcome back, David, to Interactive. Again.
2 weeks in a row?
Well, you're over, you know.
For some people. Not everybody.
Thank you to, I think that email's from Nick. Basically, the question, it seems, is should WWE walk away from the multi-talent pay-per-views using all three brands or both brands and go back to brand split? I can't say I would have imagined we would have gotten this question because of how many people were against the brand-separated pay-per-views. Your thoughts? This coming off the heels of Over the Limit, which you, of course, were a big fan of this past weekend.
Oh, yeah, it was just
a major weekend,
tremendously terrible. Yeah. There's no way they'll go back to a dual brand pay-per-view. I mean, two different, a SmackDown and a Raw, because they don't have enough talent that's been developed that's over that people are going to spend money to see.
Yeah.
And you saw that Sunday night, because with guys like I said on the radio show, Undertaker, no Shawn Michaels, no Triple H, they were forced to use the younger guys, and they didn't all perform.
Younger guys such as Kofi Kingston, Drew McIntyre, there's Sheamus in there maybe, Jack Swagger.
You're going to show it, absolutely. I thought the best match was Punk and Rey Mysterio. Even Edge and Randy Orton wasn't as good as it could have been, but with the injury, that kind of screwed things up. But the other guys didn't step it up at all. Ted DiBiase and
some are saying Ted suffered a potential concussion during that matchup. There was a point where he was clearly out of it.
Well, you know what it was?
What
he
was it?
So he used to look for Cody in his corner to help him out.
Right. Well, Cody can carry everybody.
Cody wasn't on the pay-per-view, so
we explained that on the radio show.
Cody was replaced by Virgil.
No, he wasn't. Don't you? No.
That's the amazing thing.
No, it wasn't.
The next 2-pack will be Ted DiBiase and Virgil.
Why don't we go back to Linda Kay?
And now it's time for our tweets of the week. Twitter user Rusty Cliff says, NXT with tag teams. That's what WWE and the business needs. Twitter user Sean Alley says, Batista heel works because it is who he is. Twitter user Barefoot James says, laugh out loud at Rashi Brown. Said, I went from cool to fool when I was on the air at PWR show. Those guys are uber entertaining. I love calling that show. Remember to follow PWR on Twitter, our username, PWR Show. Now it's time for the YouTube viewers of the week. Subscribe to the Pro Wrestling Report on YouTube. Click the subscribe button above this video or click at the link of pwrshow.com. And now it's time for email number 2. Email 2 comes from Terry Reed. Terry says, hey guys, a new fan to the show. Love the work that you guys do every week. Last week on your ESPN radio show, you brought up the reality that The Undertaker can only perform for so many more WrestleManias. I started debating it with a few of my friends and was wondering who would be the best opponent for The Undertaker's last WrestleMania, either from within the WWE or a fantasy card match. Gentlemen, your thoughts.
Thank you, Linda. This Twitter is something else.
It's catching on.
You had me singing Dukes of Hazzard the other day because you had to go tweeting out lyrics to the song.
I was bored and I'm looking for memorable theme songs from, growing up and whatnot. And
never meaning no harm, huh?
The good old boys, baby.
Undertaker, his final match, whenever it may be, I would venture to say over the course of the next 2 years at some point, who should that opponent be? Either somebody right now in WWE or a fantasy kind of match. I think you speculated on who it should be a couple of weeks ago on the radio show.
I like Sting. I think Sting would be
current TNA
would
superstar.
Be a great
maybe
opponent.
Future world champion.
Would be a great opponent. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's Vince McMahon.
Ah, David, no.
I'm not saying that that's what I want to happen. But think about it. Vince, he's wrestled Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania. You know, he's wrestled a lot of the big Bret Hart at WrestleMania. He's wrestled all the big names.
I like Sting better. That's the match we've never seen.
Well,
Sting and the Undertaker.
Right. We've seen it in Sting versus Mean Mark Callis.
Right, those two characters.
But yeah,
we've not seen it. I think there is millions of dollars in that matchup.
If Sting wants to be a player.
Do you think he would want to?
That means Sting has to go back to the gym. He's got to work out. He's got to look
for one
like
match.
Sting.
$1 million behind it, at least for him.
You would hope he would do it. That's the match I'd want to see.
Do you think that would be what the Undertaker would want to go out on? He ain't going to lose a match at WrestleMania. I think that's fairly clear.
Undertaker's already beaten everybody. There's nobody left.
Some have said Triple H. Maybe that
They
man.
already had that match.
Yeah, they could have it again. That was 17, I think. That was a long time.
That was
9 years ago.
Which was a great match.
It was a tremendous matchup.
But no, I think that one's done.
Not going to be Trips.
No.
Could it be one of the new breed, as you talked about earlier, one of the new people that
it's going to
WWE
have
is
to be
focusing
somebody
on?
that he respects.
Now, are you saying this based on the fact that they would beat him in this match, or just to have the privilege
he'll
of stepping
go
into the
through,
ring?
and I said that one of the young guys could beat him to boost their career, but I think when it's all said and done, Taker will go undefeated at WrestleMania, but his last WrestleMania match is going to have to be someone he respects, that he knows he can have a great match with.
All right, thank you very much for that email, and let's go back to our lovely host, Linda Kay.
And now it's time for our Facebook fan comments of the week. Stephen Paul Henson says, I'm still boycotting watching that wrestling-based physical challenge show on Sci-Fi.
NXT, I think he means.
I think so. But I will be interested to watch the Daniel Bryan, Michael Parrot Cole segment via another outlet. Daniel Bryan, in my opinion, is being allowed to do these scripted shoots because I believe they are going to push him as the new Shawn Michaels. You hear that? The new Shawn Michaels.
If you're the new anything, you're not going to be anybody. You can be the next.
Right. Other than kicking the American Dragon out of the physical challenge show on Sci-Fi, WWE is building Danielson's persona perfectly. Our next fan comment of the week from Facebook comes from Tim Cowslow. Tim says, you guys asked who is the top heel in TNA. I'll tell you who it should be, Abyss. This guy is useless as a face. He's not Hulk Hogan. He's not even Tugboat. Make him crazy again and turn him heel. Make him the monster again, or we wish him the best in all his future endeavors. Be a friend of the Pro Wrestling Report on Facebook. Just click on the Facebook icon at www.pwrshow.com. And also visit the PWR shop at pwrshow.com to get all the latest merchandise from the Pro Wrestling Report, including the #1 selling shirt of all time, DHHS, David Hero Has Spoken, and the all-new vintage fish t-shirt. Our Twitter followers got a special promotional code for 15% off on Monday's PWR Radio, and we are extending that offer through the end of the week. Now it's time to get to our third email. Third email comes from Morgan out of Manchester, United Kingdom. He says, or she says, the last 2 pay-per-views from the WWE have had a full-blown commercial smack bang in the center of the show's first, the KFC ad, and now the Prince of Persia. Is WWE that strapped for cash now, with Linda's nomination being accepted, or is this going to be the norm as commercial-free Raws become the nature of the beast? Also, didn't the Punk versus Mysterios match at Over the Limit go against the regime's new rules concerning blood and chair shots? The barber chair shot and the head right into the turnbuckle shot is allowed, but no chairs? Please, WWE, make your minds up. What do you think, guys?
Go ahead, you can say it.
12 years I've been doing this. I have never had a shirt.
Yes.
You, a year, 2 years into it, you got a shirt. It's the hottest selling ever.
14 months, 15 months in. Yeah. DHHS. It's the greatest logo of all time. I'm glad we got that little thing taken care of with people at
All good.
At the
Let's
corporate
go to,
offices.
Let's go to.
Wait. It's still it's number one seller.
It is by far,
hands down.
Commercials during pay-per-views. We got a Prince of Persia commercial during WWE Over the Limit.
But they're part of the sponsors. I'm sure they sponsor part of the pay-per-view. There's nothing wrong with that. What's the big deal? It's a little 30-second spot.
It's unusual. That's the big deal. You pay to watch this broadcast.
Okay.
When you start commercializing
when you go
it like
to
that,
a movie,
uh-huh.
What happens the first 10 minutes when you go to watch a movie?
That's why you get there 10 minutes after it
previews.
starts.
That's the best part of the movie, are the previews.
No. I have a fundamental disagreement with actual full-blown commercials airing during pay-per-views. I can't articulate it very well, aside from the fact that I'm paying $45 or whatever it may be to buy this show, to access this air. And they're going to try to sell me stuff when I've just laid out nearly $50 for this show. It's all bad. I prefer it subtle. I prefer it subliminally. I prefer the live reads.
Some of those commercials were better than the matches we saw Sunday night.
Hey now. Wow. All right.
Right?
The other point was WWE making their minds up about their PG or no blood policy. And no CM Punk bled
It was
a little bit
hard
during
way.
the-
It wasn't on purpose. I mean, it just happened. And the chair shot, I mean, it's a foam barber chair. He just threw him. It wasn't like he took the chair and smashed it over his head.
Well, we saw this at Extreme Rules with the kendo stick that Triple H used on Sheamus as well. That's okay, but a chair shot isn't.
Okay, it's completely okay because you're not going to get a concussion from a bamboo
Blunt
kendo
trauma.
stick.
Does it matter what the item is?
Of course it does. Have you ever taken a chair shot?
Let me think about that.
No. I have. I'd rather have taken the kendo stick.
Really?
Absolutely.
Doesn't that has to sting? That has to be worse. It's a concentrated thing. You hit the right spot, you're out.
But the thing with the chair, it doesn't compress your vertebrae in your neck.
All right, I get that.
It does. The kendo stick will leave a few welts. Those will go away. Chicks dig scars, remember?
Let's go back to Linda, who wants to talk a little bit more about Twitter, and then I think it's time for the fan of the week, David. Linda, take it away.
Now it's time for some more of your tweets of the week. Tweet number 1 in this part comes from Eddie Winslow. He says, it's funny how the stage at Over the Limit could hold up 2 cars, but couldn't hold up poor Batista. Twitter user Bane Full Atrocity just says, just found out I was one of PWR Show's tweets of the week. Cool. Can't get an ego off of it. I'm getting offers to sign with TNA. Interesting. All right, Twitter user Wes Griggs says, Over the Limit should have been called Jumped the Shark. And my God in heaven, why can't they just listen to Hero?
Oh, Lord.
Got some fans there, dude. All right, next comes from Twitter user Alexis7A Pete Perez. Says, I always see PWR every day I'm in my computer. I'm a subscriber to YouTube, Twitter, and to PWRshow.com. Best wrestling news show ever. Very gracious of you. Thank you for that comment, Alexis. And remember to follow PWR on Twitter. Just type in any of our names at twitter.com to follow us. Be a part of PWR Interactive. Send us your emails using the links at pwrshow.com and be sure to include your name and location. Now it's time to get to our AirTran Airways Fan of the Week. This week the fan is Sam Schneider out of London. He says, this is Sam Schneider and I come from across the pond in London, England. Loving the show as always. My question to you all is, what's your opinion for the new side to Michael Cole? Last week when Bret Hart won the U.S. title, he wasn't exactly pleased for him, and when Daniel Bryan beat him up, he stormed off. Do you think that they are trying to turn Michael Cole heel? And if so, what are your thoughts on this?
Thank you, Linda. Why don't they just... they are listening to Hero, I think.
Well, they have to.
Because you have spoken.
Because I've spoken. And you know what? Certain things have gone better since I made my comments. Look at the careers of Sheamus,
Jack
Swagger, and Ken
Nasty
Anderson,
Boys.
the Pope.
I'm sorry. Whoa, what credit are you taking for the Pope?
Whenever I mention them, they become more popular.
All right. Wow.
I'm wrong?
No, you just threw me completely off. Michael Cole. We saw what happened on NXT last night.
Week, Michael Cole.
Yeah, the Air
Are you kidding me?
Yesterday.
Airtran's going to get hot about that.
Yesterday we saw what happened with him and Daniel Bryan.
Yes.
Last week we talked about what happened between him and Daniel Bryan. We said that this would not mean anything unless they showed it on Raw, unless they showed it on SmackDown,
And
unless
it
they
was
showed it
on
on
Raw.
.com. Indeed, they're carrying this forward. But is the end result of all this to try to do what they tried to do with JR back in 1999, make him a heel, make Michael Cole a heel, because they somewhat found lightning in a bottle with JR. JR would not be as over as he is now if it wasn't for that attempt to make him heel, which simply
You
got him
think
over
so?
as a face. Absolutely. The WWE fans cared about JR after that angle because obviously it had a natural compassion factor to it, and he was entertaining.
I think they need a heel announcer. Period.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be Jerry Lawler
Right.
because he's too funny.
Yeah.
It won't be Matt Stryker,
Closest thing to it right now, though.
but he can't be the heel
Him and
announcer.
Lawler fighting on every pay-per-view.
But Matt Stryker, he's just too good.
Yeah. He is damn good at what he does.
You know?
Is he the best in the world at what he does right now?
No, he's not.
No? Who was better? Taz? Jerry Lawler?
Are you kidding?
That's
me?
all we have to
Did
pick
you say
from.
Taz?
That's all we have to pick from.
I'll say Jerry Lawler then, if I have to pick between those two.
Okay.
He has a cooler looking shirt.
Different every week, just
Yeah.
about.
Well, he can afford it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Cole is a heel. Would you care more about him if he were to continue along the path that
He's just
seemingly is
he's
going on?
he's just more relevant right now. I mean,
Yeah.
this may get him an
Great
action
point.
figure.
Let's go back to actually no, we're done. But let's let Linda take it home.
I was gonna say we gotta have a little more Linda.
Oh, we'll be back on primetime on Friday.
Okay, all right.
Be a part of the largest wrestling fan social media network by joining the Pro Wrestling Report on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Find all the subscribe links at www.pwrshow.com. Be sure to watch PWR Primetime this Friday on demand at pwrshow.com and tune in to PWR on ESPN Radio Monday night at 11 Eastern, 10 Central for all the hot news. Again, this is Linda Kay signing off. We will catch you next time on PWR Interactive.